Well, hi everybody, thanks for joining us on Logistics Executive TV. We're here in Singapore at the Expo Pavilion, and I'm joined today by a young lady who is very well known in the supply chain and logistics world. We're here at the LogiSYM event with CeMAT, Deutsche Messe here, combined event. LogiSYM, of course, the preeminent logistics and supply chain organisation here in Asia. And Pauline Kirk, joined here today by you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kim. It's been such a while since we caught up last.
We've been online together for some time, been meaning to do an interview. I lost my voice 3 weeks ago, just got it back. And here we are both in Singapore, and wanted to talk to you about a couple of things today. A little bit about the background first, because you've got a very storied career in logistics and supply chain. Maybe the last 2 or 3 roles, quite significant jobs, yeah?
Yes, so BHP was one of the big players I played with here in Singapore. They actually brought me to Singapore, and I was part of their supply chain strategy team. Prior to that, my life has been predominantly in either project management or operations.
Sure.
Started my career in the British Navy, and we're talking actually earlier here at CeMAT just around our military background and how my warehouse floated, and that's really how I got into the supply chain industry. And now 25 years later, I'm still in the supply chain industry. And
I think I've been following your career online and brief chat here and there over the last, 10, 15 years. So congratulations on the journey so far.
Thank you.
You look like you're just ready to start another journey, and I know particularly you put a lot of effort in the last year or two into producing your first book.
Yes.
And you happen to have a copy of it with you.
I do.
And so I wanted you to tell us about it. It's a #1 bestseller, which is excellent. So tell us a little bit about that book and where the inspiration came from to develop it, and what it's all about.
So this book, Phenomenal Women That Boss Up, we actually wrote this book, so I'm one of 9 in the book. And really it's just around, finding ourselves outside of, what's important in life. Most of us get out of bed every day, and we don't know why we get out of bed every day. So it really gave me some good insights around, especially during the COVID time, to then what's important, what's really important. And sometimes we get so sucked into our corporate world that we forget sometimes outside of what's out there, and just taking time to reflect on who we are and more about ourselves, what our values are, and we're more than the job title.
Sure. So you've diversified away from that. We spoke off camera a little bit about how we often get stuck, and it's easy in logistics and supply chain world. You get stuck in that grind. You get up in the morning. It's usually a 10, 12, 14-hour day as opposed to an 8-hour day. And you went through continuous grind period for some years where you just felt, okay, there's got to be some more outside of this, and then you started collaborating, as I say, with is it all women?
Yes, it's all women.
All women, in terms of developing this book about saying, okay, how can people think outside of the box? How can they sort of look to leverage their expertise and to gain new freedom, if you like, in terms of career? And it certainly looks like it's done you a lot of good.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it has, Kim. Like I said, it's all about reflection.
Yeah.
And when I hit my 40s, and I don't look that old, but when I hit my 40s, it was more around, is there more?
Yep.
Surely there must be more, and what's important in life. And yes, our corporate jobs are a big part of our life, but it's not the only part of our life.
Yep.
And I really went on a mission to find out who I am and more about myself, my values, and what we stand for, because a lot of time we are our job title. And when we move out of that corporate world, it's around, you sort of lose your identity a little bit, because you usually say my name is, and this is my job title.
Right. You meet somebody and say, oh, what do you do? Well, and this is how I'm defined. This is exactly what I do, and there's nothing else, which of course is never true.
Yeah.
And I think you're bringing that out in the book, yeah?
Yeah, and I talk, I have a social enterprise. We speak about women and money specifically, so we've started to move into another area where, we're seeing some trends at the moment where a lot of women really struggle with their finances. And so for me, I wanted to take an initiative to go, when we get out of bed every day, we can't work forever. So it's around, how do we think differently when it comes to our money? What are we doing with our money? Because 71% of women leave money in their bank, and then we retire with nothing, and we have to work longer. Sure. And if we love what we do, that's fine. But a lot of us are having to work because we don't know what else to do with our money. So therefore we just and we need more money to live. And as you know, everything's more expensive.
Yeah, it's all stacked up against you to a large degree from a gender perspective, isn't it? Now, you've got a number of hats, and I wanted just to explore those briefly as well, because I know you're a guest speaker, you're on the speaking trail, you are also an MC, and you work with some reasonably high-profile people around the world on the speaking side of it. Maybe you can share a little bit about that with us.
Yeah, thanks you, Kim. So I've been supporting Tony Robbins, if you're familiar with Tony Robbins. So I was actually in Sydney with him last year in September. So I walked on fire with 600,000 other humans around, just breaking through some of our limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
I was in Malaysia last week supporting T. Harv Eker, who wrote Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And I'm also supporting another gentleman by the name of Mac Antrim from the UK. And again, he's also talking about how we can improve business and how we can do business differently. Especially today, it's all about just collaboration, networking, and more of that human contact, which we've sort of lost along the way the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know part of your discovery journey has also been giving back and working with community groups and women in particular on empowerment, and I know you're doing that here in Singapore, so kudos to you for doing that and getting the circularity going in terms of your experience and your career. Absolute pleasure to catch up with you, Pauline. So Pauline Kirk, and the book is called?
Phenomenal Women That Boss Up.
Boss Up, and where can people get hold of the book?
So it's on Amazon, and also you can go directly to my website, femvestorsglobal.com, and you can purchase a copy there as well.
Okay, Pauline, absolute pleasure to catch up with you in person.
Yes.
And all the best with the journey, and look forward to finding out how things are going forward.
Thank you so much, Kim. Appreciate your time.
And thanks everybody for joining us on Logistics Executive TV.